And the reason for doing that is because it's one of the largest economic free zones in the UK. I'm also involved in buying schools, so that's something else that one of my JV partners has done with me. They provide the cash, we do all the work, and then we have a My name's David Allison. I've been with Sourced as a franchisee for about 2 years now. I've been involved with properties across the country previous to that, but since joining Sourced, I decided to target one particular area. So I've targeted Teesside, which is Middlesbrough, Stockton, Redcar and East Cleveland. And the reason for doing that is because it's one of the largest economic free zones in the UK. So lots of investment in Teesside in the area. What I've done is I've worked with joint venture partners. These are busy people that really haven't got enough time, but they want to invest in property. We set up a joint venture company with them, and they provide the cash, we do all the work, and then we have a 50-50 split on the joint venture of the properties that we own and that we rent out. Yeah, the motivation for joining Source was really twofold. One is the network that they've got that I can actually get to meet a lot of different joint venture partners and investors and also to see sourced properties that I'm interested in buying myself. But I think also the opportunity for the support back at the head office for Source Capital to work with them in the future. That's what I plan to do. But I think to be part of a community for property, which I think is really useful. The goals for me were to target one specific area, to create a portfolio of properties, and I base it on the number of rooms that we can let out. So the original goal was to achieve 100 rooms. We've so far achieved about 85 or so. So now the new target is to achieve up to 200 rooms, trying to net, a decent amount per room to make a cash flow company, but also to have properties that will have sort of medium and long-term value in the future. Yeah, the support that we've got from Sourced really helps us in the way that when we come up with a particular issue or problem, we can either contact our support person or go into Sourced office and try and find what we're looking for. Also, I find the online resources really useful, especially if I'm talking to brokers and banks to get lending. To have that sort of expertise behind me really makes a huge difference. It makes me look more professional, I think, when I'm talking to those sorts of people. So when I started 2 years ago, the first achievement was really to get known and to advertise what I'm looking to do. So I put numerous adverts out on the app and on through the emails of Sourced, and we managed to get about 300 responses, which was great. And from those responses, we've managed to get about 9 joint venture partners and bought about 18 properties so far over the last 2 years with those people. Those joint venture partners actually become good friends as well over time as well, and we even move on to other sorts of developments. I'm also involved in buying schools, so that's something else that one of my JV partners has done with me. So it's really an opportunity to build the business and to move it forward. So that's been, I think, the real thing for me, the real gain. I think the way to stay informed in the trends, you've got to read the newspapers, national newspapers, stay in touch with what's going on. But obviously the workplace app that we've got with Sourced, which really sends out a lot of information about what's happening, is really, really useful. And equally, just talking to people within the network to try and find out what's happening. I've also joined and been involved in some of the SIN events, the Sourced network events, and I'm looking forward to running my first Sourced event in the next few months. Future plans, I've moved away now from the sort of 3-bed street houses which we've been renting to contractors and students, to moving on to sort of commercial to residential properties. So we're currently looking at a 9-bed HMO, which was a shop with 2 floors above. We're also buying a larger 2 shops with 2 floors above to make into 12 flats. I'm also looking at the opportunities for buying as part of a consortium, a 29-bed HMO, which would cater for 58 people. It's already licensed, and actually looking at how we could get investors to buy rooms or to buy shares in that, and then to manage it to rent out to students next to the local university, because Teesside University, which is based in Middlesbrough, has got 30,000 students, and there's a huge lack of accommodation for those students. So there's a real opportunity there, I think. Yeah, I think the most rewarding part of being part of the Source network is that you have contact. You can phone someone up anytime you've got an issue. You can find out more about certain things that you're looking to do. You're not on your own. When I was a property developer previously, it was quite isolating, really. You know, you haven't really got different people to talk to. Now you can talk to people in Source that will give you frank advice, useful advice, and support you in anything that you need. I think if you want to join the Source franchise network, you've got to think, have you got the time? You've got to give up time. And I think they say that in all the literature, but you've got to set aside so many hours a week. So if you are working full-time already, it's not impossible, but you've got to still find the time to do it. You also need to plan what your work is. And we do sort of a 30-day project where we plan what we're doing each month, and we set that down and tick off what we're doing as we achieve it. I think it's really important, the small steps, and don't so much think of the big goal, but think of how am I going to get there? What are the 10 different steps or so that I need to reach, and then slowly go through each step until you've reached that. Yeah, I think what I'd like to say is you have to work hard in order to make the franchise work, but it is very profitable, and it's also very enjoyable to do. What I'd like to do is more joint venture partnerships. So if anyone is out there that's interested in investing up in the northeast of England, in the Teesside area, I'm quite happy to talk to them, give them advice or support, or maybe they'd want to do a JV with me in the future.